Shelby Steele, one of my favorite writers, one of my favorite political writers, just an absolutely graceful writer, really good thinker. I don't know why he doesn't write more. Every now and again, he has an article in the Wall Street Journal, and every now and again, he has a little book he'll bring out, always very short. But I guess he's not a very, fluent writer, but he's a wonderful writer and a wonderful observer. And he has a piece in the Wall Street Journal. And here's what he says. He says, as many have noted, Donald Trump's presidency is an insurgency. Mr. Trump himself is the quintessential insurgent doing battle with a disingenuous and entrenched establishment. This was his appeal over a field of more conventional Republican candidates in 2016. But last year's midterm elections were disappointing, and Mr. Trump has gone wanting for political clout in the immigration fight. His successes, a booming economy, tax reform, low unemployment, increased oil production, the abandonment of terrible treaties, new and better trade deals have brought him little goodwill, even from his own party. Today's leftist cultural hegemony squeezes President Trump and conservatives generally into an impossibility. No matter what they achieve, they are always guilty of larger sins. Make the economy grow if you must, but you are still a racist. He's talking about a change that came about in the 1960s, a change when we went from seeing America as there were always problems. There's never been a perfect America. America was never a sitcom where everybody was living in suburbs where father knows best. There were always problems in America, like every other country on the face of the earth, including Finland. There were always problems, but we saw it as a great and good country. We saw it as the point of a moral spear. It was we who set the people free in the World War II. It was we who set the people free after the Civil War. We who set the people free all around so much of the world in the Cold War. We had contributed to more freedom in the world. Remember, there were no republics like ours in existence when America was founded. Our republic has been so successful that even when they created slave states like the Soviet Union, they had to call it the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics to make it sound like the United States of America. That's why they did it. It was propaganda to make it sound like it was going to be as good as America, but socialist, right? That just doesn't work, all right? So what he's talking about is we lost that sense in the Vietnam War with the acknowledgement of racism. Absolutely necessary that we acknowledge the problem of racism, fix the problem that the Democrats had created in the South, absolutely necessary. But with that came shame. And with the shame, we sort of lost the sense that America was a good country. And we have this sense now of moral obligation. Now, here's the distinction that Shelby Steele is making, this distinction between principle and morality, the distinction between having a set of principles that keep you free and that keep you, that let you know which way you're going and whether or not you are good or bad, right? And Steele writes, admitting evil obligated America to seek redemption by actually earning an innocence of past sins. Proving your innocence in this way earned you moral authority and ultimately political power. So out of nowhere in the mid-60s came the Great Society, the war on poverty, forced busing, public housing, affirmative action, and so on, a proliferation of redemptive actions meant to reify innocence as a currency of power. Liberalism became essentially a moral movement, more informed by ideas of the good than by constitutional principles, more enthralled to innocence than to freedom. And that's why so many issues are turned into largely stupid moral fights that nobody can win.